I loved every second of it. It's a really cool experience.
We're all tied up here in the series between Tempo Storm and Team 8. We'll soon be heading into game number 3. Tempo Storm, having lost the last game, probably going to choose to have first pick there.
Yeah, you know, or just not double support. You know, that might be where they go. It just...
Game 1, confusing draft, right, from Team 8. Game 2, confusing draft from Tempo Storm. It's kind of like watching an octopus put on socks. It's just confusing.
Yeah. You're like, oh, wait. Where's the sock going on? Is it in this tentacle or that one? Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a good way to put it. Is I at least understood teammate and Kursalo.
Okay.
I got it. I didn't like it, but it was their strengths, what they're known to do. Tempo Storm, though, that double support pickup, it wasn't, you know, oh, the classic Cawthon on Brightwing. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't.
It kind of is. It's just old school for them.
Like 9 months. There's a difference between like a common trend and not completely falling out of the middle. Like that used to be a thing. Like it's like going and saying, like looking at the Cloud9 members and being like, oh, the Undying comp, that's so them. Like, but that was like forever ago before they busted it out. It caught me off guard so much from that game. And the Zul'jin obviously just wailing away, getting so much value the entire matchup, and there was no counter damage. There was nothing. So I can't help but feel like Tempo Storm is obviously not going to move down that route again. Just why is the real question for me.
Well, especially with the next Battleground. So we can take a look at that. Team 8 has chosen to go to Battlefield of Eternity. At least I'm assuming it's Team 8. We'll see as these start to shake down. By the way, Tempo Storm banning Infernal Shrines. That's another one with a lot of aggression potential. So not the norm that we see for Warhead Junction. But yeah, Team 8 picking Battlefield of Eternity.
Battlefield of Eternity is a map where Tempo Storm's not going to be able to clutch out their macro-oriented play nearly as easily.
Yeah.
Braxis was one where they can get away with it a little bit more. It didn't work out. But Battlefield, they're going to have to go blow for blow with Team 8. A lot of the heroes that Team 8 likes to play, Glaurung likes to play, work well on this map. You want to know how Team 8 chooses their map? Look at Glaurung's hero pool. What maps are they good at? That's what they value.
Especially, too, though, looking at preparing for this match versus Tempo Storm is 0-2 on Battlefield of Eternity, and I'm pretty sure they even banned it versus B-Step. So having to ban Infernal Shrines instead, especially because we've seen more Medivh strategies come into play on Infernal Shrines, it was like, okay, we'll ban the worst of the two, but this is not a great one for Tempo Storm either.
Yeah, and Tempo Storm has had some unique priority on this map, have they not? I might be very wrong about that, but it feels like their picks and bans on this map can kind of be a little willy-nilly here. Tracer's going to be banned out, allowing the Tassadar through, baiting maybe Tempo Storm into picking it.
Yeah, they have gone everywhere from Illidan with Tyrael Sylvanas Li Ming to more Tychus Greymane Tyrael. Tyrael seems to be the consistent for Tempo, but with having lost both of those, that's not necessarily the case that they'll be going for here.
Artanis was locked in there for Tempo. Ragnaros Tassadar rotation. On the other side, I don't know if I feel like the teammate got that big of an upper hand. Probably. Tassadar, without any major complement, doesn't necessarily thrive on this map because he doesn't do too much when it comes to the race itself. Obviously good in skirmishing and everything the like, but he does cripple a little bit there because laning isn't as normally valued, and because of that, that's really where Tassadar comes in, is that pseudo support, because he has wave clear and skirmish potential. And the Artanis taking that trade, Ragnaros is obviously very, very good, but if this next rotation's clean on the side of Tempo, I think that this draft is very satisfying to see unfold. We'll see where they go here. I'm guessing it's going to be... Is it going to still be in the rotation of ETC? Probably. Maybe not, though. They have dropped their priority. I feel like an ETC and then like a Vala is going to be the choice here. I think Vala something more than anything else. But what is the question?
Tempo Storm have been... Yeah, they started with ETC, but then they've sort of ran the gamut of figuring out what their favorite warrior is. ETC's worked out well for them, so has Diablo. But Li Ming and Vala, more of a choice for them. So leaving support and their warrior for Fury till the very end.
Yeah, I like the Li Ming Vala rotation. Definitely both of those complement a lot of the race. They're going to have a lot of race potential. Forcing Team 8 now, the rest of their draft, they know they can't win the race. You cannot be Vala, Li Ming, Artanis. Those three are literally built for this map, almost, it feels like. So they need to make sure that now they're considering the defensive. What can they confirm those kills with? I can't help but feel like that's going to lead to a Varian down the road here.
Same.
Whether or not that's going to work out is a different tale. I do not want to see Medivh. I really don't want to see... man, out of all Glaurung's heroes, since Tracer was banned out...
Yeah, it seems weird that Tracer was banned by Team 8.
Yeah, there's not... Well, the reason for it is because then if Tassadar was picked up by Tempo Storm and they are Artanis Ragnaros, then they can't Tracer and just win the video game.
Okay.
But it cripples Glaurung a lot by removing the Tracer. Illidan doesn't look nearly as pretty on this map compared to some of the others. And Tracer removed, that leaves only Medivh and then Zeratul. Zeratul obviously is an insane risk as well, so we'll see where teammate goes, but I feel like it has to go down that route, or excuse me, the Medivh route. Tychus was removed. There's the variant Karzim. Once again, oh man, this is gonna be teammate falling down a lot of the same path.
I don't think that they'll Medivh there though, this time.
What do you think they'll do? I'm not saying you're wrong, I just don't totally know yet. That's true. That is a hero that Glaurung can play, and they might put him on the Greymane and run solo Varian. Bold move.
But they have Tass and Karzim to help.
They sure do. The problem is that they have to consider how do they 1 versus 4, and that means a lot of lockdown and an insane amount of follow-up. Karzim, not so much. Ragnaros, not until 10. Varian does fine in his own, but where's the damage to back it up? Greymane, is that the answer? It could be, again, post-10, but pre-10 usually doesn't thrive necessarily, especially since he's your 1 out of the 1-4 on the defensive. It just seems a little out of place.
What about crazy Prismat heroes like Nazeebo?
Maybe. Could be an option. Rhaegar Johanna, so giving Johanna
yeah, I wondered if they were going to do that.
They're going with Zeratul.
Okay, Zeratul. I wondered if they were going to do that because it's Fury. She can be nice in being able to stall out versus the race, although I don't think we're going to see a teammate racing like you said, but she can help stall out with a couple blinds, condemns, pulling people around. That
being said, not even just Temple, North America as a whole on Battlefield of Eternity does play surprisingly comfortable just trading, even when there's no way they win the race compared to other parts of the world. Yeah. So that could be, if that still holds true into this game, then it would be, it would be a lot harder for teammate in this matchup if they are comfortable, willing to risk that trade. Like, it's amateur opponent, Seeker, and Vala Q build. But to teammates' defense, they have Ragnaros, and that has been where people are okay with trading because they have Ragnaros to help defend. That's true. I mean, it's always awesome to be able to have that tool. Like, don't get me wrong, like the value that he provides, but eventually you have to be on the same footing and you have to be able to take a fight. That's not going to happen until 10, so they have to be comfortable losing, using Ragnaros, buying time, getting 10, then being effective in their initiation. It's just margin of error, absurdly small. Once again, like it was in game number 1 for teammate, whereas Tempo Storm, I don't even really have a comment on the second draft. I'll be honest. It just was all over. Yeah, teammate will be walking a tightrope and most likely losing that first Immortal, not getting too far behind, especially because they want to be able to take that 10 fight right away with Void Prison and Sulfurous Smash. We're ready for this game number 3 between Tempo Storm and Team 8, so we'll see you on the battlefield. Of eternity, am I right? Oh, he is so witty. Is that Dreadnought? So clever. All right, so are we going to see... Did you just compliment yourself? No, yes, a little bit, because it's obviously true. Big old Kappa there. Either way, Iron Fist is the choice for Buds. Any other differences here? The Karazim... Oh, man. We're going to see another 7-sided strike, aren't we? Yes. VP, Sulfurous Smash, 7-sided strike, or charge 7-sided strike. I just, anytime 7-sided strike gains value, it is such in I'm already winning situation that I don't understand why it's taken. That's all I feel about it every single time. There's very few times where big play actually happens where 7-sided strike comes into play and gains value. Yeah, but this is different. This is Buds the Legend. Oh, I forgot about that part because he in fact has a name and then the legend afterwards. I haven't gotten experience that, but we'll see. Yeah. His Tyrande plays. Not that we get to see much solo support Tyrande anymore, but when he was playing Range Flex, his Tyrande was excellent.
Amateur opponent is the choice, of course, for Artanis 2. Hungry Arrow build for Vala, getting Monster Hunter at level 1. Even getting double Lightning Shield for Rhaegar, just to make dang sure that Tempo Storm wins that race.
Yeah, and look at this rotation here. Zeratul and Ragnaros, a 5-man collapse for Team 8. Will they make something happen? Fury scouts both of them. There's going to be the Iron Skin. Cawthon ends up getting the dash out. Nobody's there to be able to follow up on the damage. So, in fact, no capitalization there, as Tempo Storm has managed to get a little harass onto the front wall. But as always, we're on Battlefield Eternity. Everything's going to come down to the race to the Immortal, how things play out there. It is the least lane-oriented map of probably the entire game. I would say maybe Towers is a little bit different, but even then, you got the Sappers. This one is just wait it out. Give me the Immortals. Let's battle.
That was a frustrating. I know that feel when you think that you've got the perfect Empower Sulfuras, and then it's just not quite there yet. Zeratil's gonna help out. Like, I know that. You're just like, come on, how did I miss that?
You know, if you think it's frustrating with him, make it Asmodee Q. Whenever you,
yeah,
it's like the most, you're just like, oh gosh, please, where's my black pool? Help me. Either way, we've got the Immortals up. The defensive rotation here for Tempo Storm. Same posture here coming out for Team 8. Oh man, Glaurung dodging that swap though, but it might cost him his life. June's got, there it is. And the trade attempt was started here for Team 8, knowing Zeratul was there to be able to buy the time. But I can't help but feel like, again, this 4-man defensive aggression race here for Tempo Storm is going to be very, very lopsided, especially when you remove Zeratul from the equation. Cato's not there quite yet. He's going to harass over the wall. Do you expect Triumvirate at 4? I think we'll see Triumvirate. Maybe not. That is very...
It's back and forth between that and Charge Blast, right? Or even I've seen some dominance here. If the concern is like, hey, we already are winning this so fast, I just want to go into being able to kill people, or is there dominance?
Yeah, I like the dominance into Zeratul.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because he will get that harass trade, and you need to make sure that if your team gets a kill that you aren't just dead, and then you obviously getting the reset on your cooldowns allows you to be able to skirmish with the Zeratul far more, so I like that choice. It's just I've been surprised at how often Triumvirate has popped up here on Battlefield Eternity, so figured I'd throw it around, but for now, Immortal advantage is going to be to Tempo Storm as they just, all you got to do is press your Q and your W. Vala and Li Ming, they're going to be able to harass it down. Soak is going to be Rhaegar and Ragnaros to be able to get that for now, but his experience pretty close to even. Artanis has transitioned towards top.
4 is nice, though, now that Team 8 have it, because Warbringer helps out a lot with Varian and the lockdown possibilities for Team 8. Starting to move in toward the Immortal. Cawthon Luck gets taken out as their first blood.
He ate every single tick of that W. I don't think I've ever seen a max value W like that in my life.
You're talking about Living Meteor?
Yeah, Living Meteor. He hit it from the very beginning to the very end. He walked through every ounce of it and cost him his life here.
And that's the best feeling as a Ragnarok.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Sulfuras Smash.
Yeah, that's true. But that's a huge moment here for Team 8 again, because they don't do so well when it comes to the race. Fury, they're going to throw out the Condemn. The swap attempt is not even going to be an option. Halftime has already come into play, but throws down the Earth ally. Oh, there's going to be the combo onto Cawthon. Psalm ends up getting the fake swap. June! Glaurung ended up missing his W, but it didn't matter. They're confirming the kill, but look at the shields. The experience is really the only major selling point here for Team 8. And Tempo Storm...
Sorry. That was another big meteor, by the way. You see that? Just straight down the line.
Yep.
June was trying to run away from it. I think in the end, Team 8 knew the race just was not there for them. But if they easily get some kills, get a level lead, and then get to 10 even faster, then that's the game plan.
This is honestly better. The only way this could get better is if they lowered the shields for Team 8. Everything that they managed to do fits to their power spikes. They have the tools to be able to deal with this crisis here. With Ragnaros, there he goes. He's going to be able to rid the shield. As long as they maintain this experience advantage, which should be closed a little bit by this front wall, but overall should be very close. That's exactly what Team 8 needed. Again, they're very 10-focused composition.
Constant shielding on structures, buying as much time for Prismaticism to get full use of the Molten Core, and only front wall goes down, maybe the well, not even the well. And Team 8 have a great setup moving into the mid-game of Battlefield of Eternity.
They very much do. 7 was Seeker here for Li Ming. I mean, only going to be able to increase her power when it comes to control. Since she didn't move into Triumvirate, she is going to be very reliant on for missiles. Artanis is transitioning towards top. Everybody knows this is going to be going down. Li Ming, huge orb with the W from Vala, is going to be able to secure this. Team 8 backing out.
Zeratul going to move down to the Khazra in bottom, but Artanis is going to be there to just mess with them, and the Psalm Glaurung fights continue.
Yeah, they very much do. Ragnar should be a little bit more successful in that scenario, but also they need the wave clear on the top half of the map. I wondered if Glaurung was going to adjust his build at all because we are on BOE, but in fact he is sticking to, you know, the Glaurung build, the meta standard Zeratul. And other than that, movement speed is 7 for Johanna, but that's not surprising. Everybody sticks to pretty much, you know, the exact same so far in this game for now.
Yeah, both teams looking toward their heroic abilities as well as the Fallen Shaman to get that push. It was picked up earlier by Team 8. Depending on how that works out for Tempo Storm, could be in their favor knowing that their Shaman will be pushing during the actual Immortal phase, but at the same time it lets Team 8 get back out into the lane faster, push along with them, and maybe take down towers here in the bottom lane to get them closer to heroic abilities.
Yeah, it's kind of a, you know, it resembles Sky Temple on like what do you want to do when it comes to the objective? Do you cap it early and high pressure with it, or do you cap it late like Tempo and get it timed more efficiently? In the end, it doesn't really gain much for Team 8, but it doesn't matter in the sense that they're so close to the 10, they're going to easily be able to transition onto the map objective. We'll see if Tempo Storm has any, if makes any play, knowing that their opponents are not 10 quite yet, and Prismaticism shown towards top. In just full defense mode there for Team 8. Tempo Storm very comfortable with the scenario. They're willing to be able to counter soak until 10.
Team 8 almost here with heroic abilities. Glau has a dodge on Orb, and here they are. Heroic abilities. 7-sided strike will be the choice of heroic for Team 8. Everything else standard across the board.
Yeah, and Tempo Storm's just going to have to wait till halftime. They want to make sure they get 10 before that, or after that comes into play as soon as possible here. Vala did get caught, or excuse me, Li Ming, Caterpillar got caught out there down below. Tom from Varian, along with the Warbringer, was enough to be able to secure the kill. And everything is going in favor of Team 8 now at this point.
There's the swap. It will be an aggressive positioning, but with heroic abilities still not quite here, just now grabbed for Tempo Storm, and the fact that Li Ming is only just now respawning. There was some more free pressure from Team 8. Swap goes in. Psalm going after Prismaticism. He does have Blast Wave to give himself movement speed to get back.
Yep, and now we do have Li Ming here. So this is going to be it. Are they going to be able to get the harass, get the poke? Is the initiation going to be strong enough here between Team 8 and their Wombo combo? Void, Sulfur Smash, 7-sided strike. There's a harass thrown out. Ragnar's clearing top. Zeratul is clearing on the bottom. And then I expect the collapse to happen as the Immortals, Tempo Storms is looking not too good. There's going to be the taunt combo. Nobody there. 7-sided strike. Cleanse coming out from June. We'll keep him up for a little bit longer. Ancestral's going to be forced. Interesting choice to see that coming out there from June. It was very, you know, a conscious effort, if you will. Swap attempt. Lands right into Justing. Maybe not the guy you want. There's going to be the blind coming out. Psalm is getting aggressive. There's once more going to be a taunt, Gilly. Force wall dropped.
This play from Justing has been excellent throughout. He soaked up a ton of the shots just while Cattle was trying to soak until he finally found a spot where he could charge in, and then with the taunt, the follow-up there from the rest of the team, forcing out Ancestral Healing. Again, only 7-sided strike being used, and that cooldown will be up way before Ancestral Healing.
Oh, man, this Johanna pick, though, is really hurt Tempo Storm for now. They have no... They expected, you know, the race and to buy time, but teammate is just constantly comfortable with, you know, moving in for a little bit of harass. And the blind and just the peel hasn't been that effective. There goes the Sulfur Smash combo on to Psalm, the shield. He ends up dodging the Q. He ends up getting into the Void as well. Condemn into the Immortal. Is there going to be a reset? Not yet. The blind now going to be dropped, Gilly.
That was Suppression Pulse. They barely keep alive Tempo Storm's Immortal, at least for now. There's not a ton of good poke, but with one Lion's Fang, Justing ensures that Team 8 gets a very well-shielded Immortal out of the space.
Yeah, this has got to be scary if your Tempo Storm is your opponent's going to be able to pick up that 13 talent here. And they have so much kill potential onto you, and things haven't been looking good in the team fights yet. I can't help but think I see no reason for that to really change. Tempo Storm had their moment in the early parts of the game, and it didn't work out. And as this game moves on, Team 8 only has become scarier. Oh goodness, this could be a keep play here. Void is not going to be up for 50.
Justin stops the swap.
Oh man.
7-sided strike goes down too. Cleanse has to be used. Actually, it's just unstoppable. It's Iron Skin for Fury, but that means it is out. So Fury Smash drops on top of June. Cloud jumps in to make sure he gets a kill, but he will go down for a 1-for-1 to take down Rhaegar. Here comes Prismaticism in. He does have 13 with Resilient Flame, so he's doing his best to stay alive. A taunt takes down Johanna, and look at those health bars.
Oh, there goes the swap attempt. Oh, Prismat is so low on HP. Cattle's just like, if I could just get a reset, and he's not going to be able to. Oh my is right there without the Calamity as well. No ability to, you know, just dash on dash on dash, get those kills, get the resets. And now the Immortal has made it past the fort. They're moving to the keep. There's no way Tempo Storm can stop this. So first keep of the game now going over to Team 8 as they close the distance to 15.
Prismaticism blast waves his way on out of there. A full 2-level leads. Actually more, almost 3-level lead. I can caster math for Team 8. And let's take a look at that last fight again, because things got hairy for Team 8.
Yeah, they very much did. If we can get to that in a moment here. Sorry about that, but it's just Tempo Storm has no real way to be able to come back, I don't think. Like, outside of the obvious blatant pick here and there, it's just their composition with that Johanna frontline, with running the Vala leaving, they put a lot of emphasis there into their kill potential. But we'll note here, Justing once again, Psalm comes in, 7-sided strike's gonna be dropped. A lot of harass going in, but more than anything, the Sulfur Smash onto June, perfectly timed. And Glorong, huge shout out to him, he set that up, getting it that low, and ended up costing him his life, but in the end, that was a huge victory. Look at that shield. Oh, if the Cattle had gotten that reset, that could have been a completely different fight. Good job there from Psalm as well to be able to get that auto. But in the end, it wasn't enough here.
I can't talk enough about how well Justing is playing. His quick draw, taunts, and charges have netted his team so many kills here in this game. As soon as Artanis comes in, just snap, you're taunted. And everyone is very quick to follow up from teammate 2. And yeah, Glau went down in that scenario, but took June down with him. And without the supporting, that was huge. That's exactly what teammate needed to continue on that fight and get the keep.
Yeah, there's almost no fight where if Glorong dies to be able to take out June, that it's a bad trait for teammate. There's very few scenarios where Tempo Storm would suddenly get the advantage in the fact that Glorong is going to be going down. Now they have lost their keep. They're down 2 levels, almost 2.5 here at this point. 16 talents here not available. Tempo Storm, they've got to try and buy time is really their best answer, but there's not a lot left, to be honest. And Teammate has a lot of engagement forcing tools. So I think the biggest thing is going to be, you know, avoid a little bit less of, hey, what if I queue in here if I'm Psalm? But other than that, it's just going to be trying to keep Johanna there, soaking on the side lanes as long as possible, maybe catch out Glorong if he's looking for a big play.
Do you like this spawn position for Tempo Storm? Because it's easiest for them to defend, but they also don't really have the ability to poke like they would like.
Yeah, it's probably the best spawn it could be for them, no matter what happens. Just again, because it's not too risky for them to go out and be like, hey, look, we're buying time. Psalm actually losing this trade could be a very big deal. Glorong should be a huge focus, though. As his blink goes down, he's not even going to be able to get the pick onto...
Oh, hungering arrow from the grave.
Bomb from the Void, though, is going to be able to get this trade. The halftime has been kicked in. I think that was a winning trade for Teammate. Obviously going 2 for 1, but more than anything, just having, you know, having the situation to where Tempo Storm didn't get enough experience to catch up to 16. So that trade going 2 for 1. They aren't close to the 16 talents here, and now they're in a position to be able to rid of this Immortal. Things are going to be going good. It's going to the top lane here as the bottom keep has already been taken out. Tempo Storm just have to weather the storm at this point. And that's going to probably be another keep. Then they hit 16, and suddenly Tempo has the opportunity to take an even talent tier fight for the first time in a long while on BOE.
There is no Void Prison, at least, even though Zeratul has resurrected and will be running back into this fight. So maybe Tempo Storm can use that time, knowing that Zeratul's not here. They're going for a swap. Taunt immediately follows up once again on Psalm. Everyone here now staying healthy. Zeratul's just about to hop in the fight. There goes 7-sided strike and Sulfurious Smash, and it's too much damage for June to heal Johanna through.
Tempo Storm obviously flustered. With that decision making, they're not hitting the 16 and then seeing Psalm again attempt for an initiation. Johanna ended up getting the cost there. There goes the swap over the wall, but Glorong's going to casually be able to blink out. Johanna spawns in 20 seconds. The keep here is going to be beat on, and the fact that no kills went over, Tempo Storm is just craving any experience they can get their hands onto.
Remember, as soon as this keep goes down too, Prismaticism can take over this with Molten Core.
And Void is available. It could be a moment where they actually go for Core. Prismaticism's taking over it. The Immortal's still sitting at half HP. If they group it all, there's going to be a huge Void and heavy concentration moving into Core. The blinds use absurdly early. There goes Justin into the taunt. Psalm is under a lot of pressure. Ancestral Healing will land. Coffin, though, is just getting ripped through by Buds back there. The Void drops. Buds ends up going down there on the Karzim, so 1-for-1 trade. The shield's yet to be eaten through, and suddenly teammate is on retreat.
No support here except for the shielding that Yoda can give. Swap hits Justin, and he should be going down there. Sulfuris Smash at least helps take out Artanis, and this is a 3-for-3.
Yeah, June and Cattle are though, so they can't do anything about this fight anymore. 93% onto the core. Void has been used, and now they see the transition, trying to get those catapults in onto, or get more value out of those 85%. His teammate is not leaving the base yet. They've got the last W from Tassadar there. He will be able to pop his E. And 2 keeps, 81% core. His team 8 is, they're closing in on 20. Just everything about this game right now is that they're in full control, and Tempo Storm doesn't have any tools to really respond. That was the best fight they were going to get, and they ended up losing.
No keeps left. Chasing on to Glaurung, though. If at least Tempo Storm could kill Glaurung, then that would at least bring them back in experience somewhat. There's 1 kill. If Tempo Storm maybe at least could just keep these staggered death timers going. They had just brought down Varian. Now they get Zeratul.
Yep.
It's up to Team 8 not to give those at this point.
No, it is. And that's the second time we've seen that from Glaurung. He very much, you know, even though it seems like we've seen a little bit of different play when it comes to Glaurung, when we see him on the Medivh and everything, when we see him on his classic heroes, we also see him making classic mistakes on that Zeratul, getting caught out. In moments like this, where now Tempo Storm has a window that, yes, they might not be able to fully come back from, but it's one they should have never had the opportunity to even be close to having here. The Immortals, though, are going to spawn 24 seconds until Glaurung is going to join back, and it looks like Tempo Storm and the rest of the squad here might try and bait out this fight.
Oracle? Oh, okay. Meteor gives away the positioning of Tempo Storm. Crucial that teammate did not lose anybody else there. Tempo starting to get set up, moving down to the Immortals, quickly bringing down the blue Immortal health bar as fast as they can, trying to get as much distance between that health bar and the one of their own.
Yeah, and that shows a little bit of the race power there, just how fast that moved into the halftime here. Tempo Storm with that Seeker, with that Mirror Ball, like they've got so much going on for them. Now it is past the halftime phase. Team 8 still has 20 advantage. It's a full 5 versus 5. Tempo Storm, this is their last moment. If this Immortal goes over to Team 8, there's not much they can do left in the game. There goes the combo. Cleanse is going to be used. That's a lot onto Psalm. Tempo Storm has a shot in this fight now.
Swap goes into Varian too. Something have to regroup with this team or wait to jump back in. 7-sided strike.
Yeah, 7-sided strike going to be used. Glaurung ends up hitting a 3-man Void.
What is there to follow up though? They're going to try it anyway. Justin starts to go in, taunt, Ancestral Healing, all the heroic abilities coming out. It's now or never for Tempo Storm. Glau finds his mark, taking out Li Ming. Jumping in is Prismaticism to get a 2nd kill on Artanis, and it should be a 3rd to take out Koth and Luck and the game.
Yeah, and Fury here is sadly a lone soldier on the retreat, dropping the B-step though. Gotta respect that one. Team 8. Tempo Storm, both undefeated before week number 3 here and the series specifically. Team 8 now going 2-1 over Tempo Storm. Is this it? The moment that we can take a minute to maybe dethrone Tempo Storm? I mean, that's what it would be, right? At this point.
Absolutely.
A dethroning.
But it's 2 games from being over if Tempo Storm can win the next one. They're not out of it yet. That was Battlefield of Eternity. We know that that's a weaker map for Tempo Storm.
It very much is a weaker map for Tempo Storm. I agree. But that wasn't pretty. That was very lopsided. A lot of the game, even when Glaurung got picked twice in scenarios where he didn't necessarily need to, there was still not a moment where you're like, is teammate going to lose this? Like, the riskiest decision they made was got a free value 20% damage on the core. It wasn't needed. It was just more like, hey, look, we have this much control over you. We're in fact going to do this, and then walk away from it. Teammate has had absolute dominance throughout this game. They don't have enough answers to some of the heroes that Glaurung's been able to play on, and I just don't know if they have the tools to make these adjustments. Obviously, they're going to focus on a macro-specific map, again, because that's where their strengths come into play, but Team 8, as long as they don't draft as crazy as they did in Curse Hollow, I think they might have it.
Teammates made their drafting adjustments. Will Tempo Storm for this next game? We'll take a break and then we'll find out.
Are you ready for victory?
Assist me, servant. Ready to smash things?